Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to Demystify the Divine, weekly readings and tools to connect. And of course, Mr. Neo is coming in strong, as he usually does, to make his presence known. And this week, I thought we would kind of have a little fun with affirmations. So, I love an alliteration and a rhyme, so I just kept hearing in my head, Affirmation Nation. I have no idea what that means. I think it's just clever and it sounds fun, but that's what we're going to call this segment this week. So I'm going to pull a card from Sweet Ass Affirmations. This is from Rage Create. And let's just tap into the energy of what this week is all about. We can tap into the energies of kind of what we need to understand. There's so much that's transpiring in the world today. And I feel like affirmations are so important for us. And, you can roll your eyes and say, what does an affirmation do? Well, quite frankly, an affirmation rewires the neurons in your brain. It reprograms those thoughts. And quite frankly, in this energy, with everything being so in your face, we need some of that grounding affirmation, something that we can just take 30 seconds out of our day, maybe a couple of times a day, and refocus, knowing that every time I say it, I might have to fake it till I make it, but eventually I say it enough, it actually starts to become real. So here is our affirmation. I replace all sorrow with lighthearted fun. Okay, so here's what you want to consider when we are talking about this particular affirmation and the energies of where we're at. This is not saying that we're going to bypass our feelings and emotions. There's a lot that's transpiring right now, globally out in the world, and personally, every single individual that I connect with is going through some major shift, major transformation. And even if it's not theirs in particular, they're supporting or witnessing someone that they care about going through it. And so it's theirs by proxy in many ways. So this is not to say, don't feel what you feel. This is saying, feel what you feel, acknowledge it, recognize it, and then don't get stuck in it. Because when we get stuck in that energy, that heaviness, that density, that, oh, woe is me, or, oh my God, this is so horrible and I don't know what to do. Something needs to happen, or this needs to stop and I don't know how to stop it. So I shut down, or I get so angry and I really sink myself into that anger. Not that anger is bad, or sadness or rage or frustration. None of that is bad. It's like everything, we need everything in moderation. And when we are talking about frequency and energy and what we are contributing out into the world and what we are co-creating, because we are co-creating every single second of every single day. Don't mean to overwhelm you with that, but that's the truth. So when you get to that space of acceptance of that, things get a lot easier. Then you are in that space of, okay, I felt what I felt, and now I'm going to replace that sorrow, that frustration, that heartache, that overwhelm, that I don't know what to do. I'm going to replace it with lighthearted fun. Why do we replace it with lighthearted fun? Because our angels and guides, our dream team, the universe, energy says that's really the true purpose on this planet. To have fun, to lighten up, to be lighthearted. And notice the word light. What are we always talking about? Being 100% of the divine white light, seeking the light, not delving too deep into the shadow or not getting lost in the shadow. Well, what's the opposite of shadow? There's light, right? There's exposure, there's clarity. So light-hearted fun. I'm seeking the light, I'm connecting to my heart space, and I'm connecting to my heart space from that perspective of what is lighting my fire and floating my boat. That's really important. Also, I love this little image because it is a bit whimsical. We've got this beautiful rainbow, with the two clouds. It's very iconic, if you will. A lot of people look at this and they think, okay, there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. The rainbow comes after the storm. And of course, I love that the rainbow is sort of on the backdrop of space. We don't often see rainbows in space. We see rainbows here on planet Earth. So this is also inviting us to expand outside of our little box or our little dome. It's our little dome of protection for those of you who love divinity. If you play Divinity Original Sin, there's a dome of protection. Actually, I think they call it something else, but I call it the dome of protection because I have to make up my own names and words for everything. I digress. So I replace all sorrow with lighthearted fun. I also want you thinking this week, when you're saying this to yourself, I replace all sorrow with lighthearted fun. I want you to think about what you would say to a child who is feeling all sorts of things about what they're seeing, witnessing, experiencing out into the world. What would you say to them? And I want you to say it to yourself. I feel like this isn't a part of the affirmation, but I feel a really strong message and energy around putting focus to self-love and self-care. Really cutting out the monkey mind, cutting out the negative self-talk, the self-deprecation. We don't need that. It's inauthentic. And I feel like that's what's coming up here. In order to replace your sorrow with lighthearted fun, there needs to be a level of authenticity that comes up and comes through. So make your focus when you see this, make it about when I do this, I'm more authentically me. And P.S. and FYI, lighthearted fun is different for everybody. So I'm not telling you to reinvent yourself unless that's what you're feeling called to do. You don't have to reinvent yourself or reinvent the wheel. You're just simply stepping into a higher frequency and vibration. And you're tapping into all of the different frequencies and colors of the rainbow. There's a reason why the 7 chakra system is recognized and represented by the 7 colors of the rainbow. Each of those colors represents its own frequency, and that's what we want to be stepping into. So let me just read the back of the card because their messages are always super fun. Do you automatically say, I'm sorry for little things that happen by accident? What if you replace I'm sorry with surprise instead? When you say you're sorry, most often you have no reason to be, and the person you are apologizing to doesn't want you to be sorry either. By saying surprise, you restore a lighthearted and fun energy to a situation that negativity gremlins might otherwise conquer. Give it a try. I love that. And I'm guilty of that. I often say, I'm sorry, or I preface things by, I'm sorry, I've got to get this out, or I'm sorry I was late, or I'm sorry I've got so much energy right now, I had a thing or whatever. I'm sorry if I were to say, surprise, I'm late. How does that feel? Surprise, I'm feeling kind of weird today and I might be a little off. Surprise, I can't believe that this horrible thing happened and I don't know what to do with it. It changes the perspective. It also changes up the energy and the approach. And it's going to change the energy and the approach with those that you're interacting with when that happens as well. So let's take a page from the book of Rage Create, Sweet Ass Affirmations. I replace all sorrow with lighthearted fun. That is our affirmation nation for this week. Guys, sending everyone so much love. Mr. Neo has given us cat butt in the face. There's his lighthearted fun because he knows how much I enjoy. So he's not saying I'm sorry, he's saying surprise. That's his way of doing it. Now that we have explored this fabulous affirmation for the energies that we're in, perhaps this is bringing to light some areas where you feel a little stuck in your life, some patterns and cycles that you're recognizing you need to break. I would love to be of service. Consider clicking on the link below to check out my Phoenix 360 journey. This is an amazingly powerful experience where we go through channeling of your particular situation. We get that Phoenix guidance to help you really elevate through the Phoenix phase that you're in. We do a card reading, we do healings, you get another affirmation that goes in there, there's meditation in there, reflection questions. It's the whole works. People love this service. They come out with a deep clarity of those next steps that they're supposed to take. It's fabulous direction. Would love to connect with you there. Transform well.